You are hereby advised that the tips, tactics, stunts, and tricks displayed on our videos are performed by professionals in controlled environments, such as closed ranges. Do not attempt to duplicate, recreate, or perform any of these at home, as personal injury or property damage may result. The producer of this video is not responsible for any such injury or damage.
Last knot we're going to talk about this morning is the double figure eight. So the double figure eight is a handy knot. Well, once we tie it, we'll show what kind of uses you can use with it. But it's very complicated to learn unless you're actually doing it. You can look in a book, you can look on a phone app, you can watch this video 50, 100 times, and it still might not make sense to you. But the one time you get it right, you won't forget it. Any of these knots that we're showing you here this morning, bear with us. They're tricky to show on a camera. They're tricky to show on a phone app, but what you need to do is walk away from this video hopefully with a list of knots. The figure eight foundation, figure eight on a bite, figure eight follow through, figure eight on a bend, and use the Google machine to maybe do some self-studying. When I learned these knots many, many years ago, it was a very fast-paced, literally, they gave you the name of the knot, they tied it really quick and expected you to do it, and if you couldn't do it, you were doing push-ups and laps and all sorts of PT. So it behooved us to start doing a lot of self-studying to get these things down. If again, we talked about being able to time in the shower, being yelled at, time underwater blindfolded, practice. It's a perishable skill, so you want to practice these as much as possible. And while we're trying to film these from the best camera angles and give you guys the best idea on how to tie them, it is going to require a little self-studying for you guys to get these down. So here we go, double figure eight. It's called the bunny ears, that's what I call it. It basically, when you're done, you have 2 bites and a nice knot. To tie it, okay, we're going to start basically like we're tying a figure eight on a bite. Okay, so we're going to get our bite, and for this particular knot, you're going to eat up a lot of rope. So you want to make sure you have a lot extra because you're going to be using every inch of it. Okay, for a regular figure eight, we'd probably start a little bit high, choke up on the rope a little bit, tie it off. Double figure eight. So you see we have a lot of rope here. Okay, start a little bit lower. When we did our figure eight, I like to start high. With a double figure eight, we're going to want to start lower because we're going to be passing a lot of rope through. Same technique, down and around, okay? At this point, if you've been practicing or if you've been watching these videos or you have some knot experience, at this point, you know to do the figure eight on a bite, you're going to pass this rope right up through here and cinch it down. And that's going to get you your figure eight on a bite with 1 loop. We want 2 loops. We want to make bunny ears. So how do we do this? At this point, this is where the magic happens. And looking at this, I might have a little trouble because I might not have enough rope, but we're going to try to make it work. So again, to do our figure eight on a bite, we pass this through. To do the double figure eight, we're going to pass these 2 strands through and then pull up. It's really weird. Okay, so here's our 2 strands. We're going to take these through. Okay, here's our bite. Here's the 2 strands we care about. We're going to take these through. Okay, I'm going to work with the rope, straighten it out there a little bit. I'm taking these 2 strands, okay? And where my left hand is, you can see I'm kind of pinching them, okay? For the figure eight on a bite, I'd be passing this through. For the double figure eight, I'm grabbing these 2 strands, and I'm going to take this bite and try to pass them through there. And I'm not going to have enough rope to do it. Let's try to start that over here. So I ran out of rope there, so we're going to start it over. I'm going to move quick because you guys should already be to where we're at. So passing it around. So we're at this point here. Here's our bite. Here's the 2 strands we care about. Again, normal figure eight on a bite, we take this bite, pass it through here. We're doing a double. So we're going to take these 2, bring them through there, pinch them with our left hand. Okay? So here we have the bite, and we have these 2 pinched through here. The magic happens. We're going to start pulling these through these 2 through here, and we're going to take this bite and we're going to bring it over the top. Okay, so again, pinch them through, take the bite, bring it over the top. Okay, and what I like to do is as I bring it over the top, starting pinching with the 2 left hands, bring it over the top, I'll start pinching them with the right hands, and then you bring this bite all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so at this point, and again, you can see probably why this is really hard to illustrate in a knot tying book or a knot app, but once you get it down, it's hard to forget. So here's the 2 that we pinched. Our bite's down there. All we're going to do is pull and bring it down. And what we have our figure 8 knot, but we have 2 loops. Now, what this is useful for, this we'll use in tandem lowers, tandem raises. What that means is 2-person lowers, 2-person raises. It gives us 2 attachment points. So 2 rescuers or whoever one can clip in here with a carabiner, one can clip in here. As you're doing that, you can see here, because you're in tandem, you'll want one a little bit longer, one a little bit shorter, just because that way you can kind of spoon the person or cuddle and you're not banging against each other up and down a mountainside. But that's the double figure 8 bite. It's a complicated one to learn, but once you learn it, it is handy. So make sure you practice.
ZERT is a worldwide membership-based organization that uses zombie as a metaphor for any natural or man-made disaster that could occur in our lifetime. Your zombie could be hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, a deadly force encounter, or civil unrest. ZERT is about being prepared, trained, and most importantly, armed with the proper mindset to see you and your family through to safety. ZERT is not just an organization. It's a lifestyle. ZERTNation.com